Hey guys, it's me Umberto, and today is the day. We're going to build up my new computer for my studio and all the video and photo editing tasks and challenges I have. And I would just quickly wanted to give you a short overview of what this video series will contain. It's going to be three parts of them. So there's going to be three videos. The first one is the information about the components I chose for my computer, all the thoughts I put into it, why I chose the components, and explaining a little bit what's going to be in this machine. The second part is going to be the assembly itself, so building the computer and adding all the stuff that has to go in this little case. And then in the third part we're going to talk about setting up the system, like getting everything running smoothly and adjusting some options to get the maximum performance out of the whole thing. So it's going to be a fairly long video series talking about the individual parts, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I do, because I had to wait for 1 week for all the parts to arrive, so it took quite long. And I just got the last components and everything I needed to be able to start the video. So let's get into it. This is video 1, so we're going to talk about all that you see on this table, and I will show you what parts I got. But first of all, let me explain a little bit what I wanted to do. I've seen a video by Dave Dugdale. I don't know if you know him. He has an amazing channel with a lot of tutorials, and he talks a lot about photography, about DSLR tricks, tips, and all that stuff. And I saw a video that he did a couple of days or weeks ago where he showed his computer build, and that was a great source of inspiration and a great source of information as well, because I didn't know much about all that stuff. I've never built a computer myself, so this is going to be the first time. There's going to be mistakes, I guess. I hope not too many, and I will in post I will try to speed up all the process when it gets into parts where there's not much to see. So you just get the essence of what's important. And watching this video, I thought about my system, and I've had my computer now for quite some time. I think it's been six or 7 years almost that I've used my machine. It has been a Dell Dimension 9200. I've done some upgrades to it. I've added some RAM, and I've added some drives and a card reader, an additional one, and you know, that kind of stuff that you do to a computer. But at one point you get to understand that there's not much you can do to further improve your performance. So I thought, okay, now it's time for a new machine. And at this point I wanted to thank my family, who has been incredibly supportive and sponsored this new computer. So this is all because of them. I wouldn't have been able to do that now in this point of time, because I just couldn't afford it. So we're going to talk about prices a little bit, not too much in depth, because I think it's there's some differences on the American market. If you're in America or wherever you are, there's you might have your trusted vendors that you wanna go to and ask for the prices and check on the internet and whatever. So I tried to come up with a solution that is not too expensive, that has the power I need, that has the capacities I need, at the lowest price I could get it for. And I think we did a pretty good job. It took some time to research everything and to find the products. But yeah, here we are now with everything we need. And there's going to be a couple of cuts in between, don't wonder, because my camera only records 20 minutes of video at a time. So I have to stop at some point and then, you know, continue recording. But yeah, let's get into the part list. Okay guys, so let's start with the parts. On your right, you will see the Cooler Master 692 Advanced case that has been modded. This is the white edition, and it has been modded by the vendor I got it from. And what's special about this case is that it has been padded with how's it called? Noise protection pads. And I needed to get something silent because I'm using this as a recording computer, so it should be as silent as possible. And they offered a version that already has all the padding inside. And although also, let me show you some additional padding that you can add to this case, to the parts you needed. Going on to this side here, we start with, let me just, okay, this is the right camera. This is going to be my operating system drive. This is an ADATA. Just have, I wrote down all the names. ADATA Premier Pro SP900 128 gigs. And this is an SSD drive, 2.5 inch. So that's going to be housing my operating system. Then, continuing with the drives, we have the Kingston HyperX 240 gig 3K SSD. You get that in frame. So this is a second SSD drive that I'm going to be using for my Scratch files. Whoever uses Premiere, or I think even other video editing software, use this kind of technology. You gotta have a fast and responsive Scratch drive where you can put on temporary files and write stuff in a very fast manner. So I thought 240 gigs should be okay. This is also going to be housing all my samples, talking about the studio software. So all my virtual instruments will run from this disk, at least the samples, because that gives me the ultimate speed, and that's what I want when playing instruments live in the studio environment. Going to the RAM, we have a Corsair Vengeance DDR3 16 gigabyte. This is two bars by 8. Let me just quickly show you. So there we go. This is the RAM that we're going to be using in this build. It runs at 1866 megahertz, so it should be a lot faster than the one I was using. Let's talk about those drives here. Let me just quickly open this up. This is going to be my media storage. So this is a, let's put this down here, Barracuda hard drive. It's a Seagate ST2000DM001, 2 terabyte drive, SATA3, and I'm going to be using 2 of those in a RAID 1 configuration, so it gets mirrored and it's backed up. Basically, that's what those are for. So I got 2 of those. Quickly wrap that up again. Then we do have, that's all the parts that come with a case, accessories and all that stuff. This is not going to be a proper unboxing video where I show you each and every product and what comes along with it and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. You can look those up if you're interested in those parts. Okay, here we go. This is another 2 hard drives. Just move this up. Those are Western Digital 500 gigs Caviar Black Edition. Pretty fast hard drives, 500 gigabyte each. Those are going to be like regular disk space for whatever needs I will have. So 2 SATA3 cables, because we're going to install many hard drives. I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. What else do we have? Okay, let's go to the power supply. we got a power supply by OCZ technology. It's a 650 watts power supply, fully modular. As you can see here on the screen, everything gets attached via plugs. It's 80 plus bronze, so it's pretty efficient, and I think it should do a great job. And it's very silent. From the reviews I watched about it, it's very silent, and that's what's important too for me. Going on. Okay, let's take this one. This is the motherboard, and it's the P8Z77V, an ASUS motherboard that I've kind of had to struggle with all those different types of motherboards, and even if in the ASUS line there's so many different, there's like the V Deluxe, the V Pro, all that stuff, WS, and I don't know. And since I'm not very much into all those terms and I don't know much about that stuff, I tried to figure out what's the best for my purpose. So I came up with this one. Again, I'm not talking about all the details. This has Wi-Fi on it. It has all the SATA functionality that I needed for the amount of hard drives I'm going to use. So seems to be a fairly good motherboard. Going on this motherboard we're going to use an Intel Core i5 processor, the 3750K, because it can be overclocked. It's unlocked for overclocking. So this is the boxed edition, and you can see the processor here on top. We're going to install this one. It runs at 3.4 gigahertz, and I'm looking forward to overclocking it towards, I don't know, maybe 3.8 to 4.2 gigahertz. Let's see, we'll see how that works with my cooling setup. So going on to the graphics card, this is an Asus GeForce GTX 660 DirectCU OC edition, which means that it's overclocked from the producer and manufacturer. It has 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM, and all the rankings and all that stuff that I read on the internet look pretty fine for what I need it for. So yeah, the last parts. The case came with a couple of three fans, but since those are stock fans, the one in the front is even on a lit up one. It has LED lights in it. I don't like all this fancy stuff, and I know that the standard fans are quite loud in comparison to, quite noisy in comparison to ultra silent ones that you can buy. So I decided to exchange them, and I'm going to use the Noctra fans all over the place. So one is going to be the NFS12B. That is, I think, the one that goes into the rear. And then I have two NFA14, what's the exact name? 14 ULN, 140 millimeters fans that are going to be used on top of the case and in the front of the case. So yeah, I think that gives me a pretty silent operation and a very good performance in cooling. This is basically it for what I had to get new. I am going to use a couple of parts out of my old machine, which one is going to be the drive. I have a burner, a Blu-ray burner from LG. I'm going to use the card reader. I do have a PCI FireWire interface that gives me FireWire connectivity. I am going to use the two hard drives that are in my old system. You can never have enough space. So, and anything else? I don't think so. That should be all. Yeah, I also got a new screen, a new LED screen, 24-inch by Acer, which is very nice. You will see later on once we build up the system and start the installation of everything. I'm going to be using Windows 8 Home Professional. Not 8, 7. Sorry, 7, 8 Professional. I don't like 8. I don't know why. I just don't like it. And I think we can start with a build. So this wraps up the first video. I hope you enjoyed it so far. If you have any questions, make sure to put them below in the comment section. Let me know if you didn't understand anything, or if you have any questions to the single parts. Maybe I can give you some advice or some insights. I don't know. I'm not a geek about those things. I just learned this by watching a ton of videos and reading a lot on the internet during the last weeks. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to see you on the next episode, the computer build.